Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 348 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I am your host, Christian Piles, joined, I won't say as always, because he ducked. You want to talk about ducking? Willie Saylor ducked an entire week last week of FRL, but he's back. He's repping a little Roger Chandler, Michigan State action. He's in Easton, PA. To my left, t-shirt. We've got Stephen Kyle Brackey. To my right, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. And you know, 2 weeks ago, I guess we had a take-a-palooza with the Dayton Soriano match, the hands to the face gate, the review gate, the nobody shot gate. And now we have another take-a-palooza on our hands with Spencer Lee not wrestling Sebastian Rivera gate. And listen, we were, well, I'll say this. In the initial, as soon as Midlands happened, I think I tweeted something to the effect of, these guys are supposed to wrestle January 27th, and I hope that it happens. And then I followed up on that tweet on FRL saying, listen, I don't have any real specific reasons to believe this, why this match won't happen, but just know that I'm somewhat skeptical. But then as it got closer and the match approached, and Iowa listed him as the only starter for the weekend, right? And he wrestled Travis Pietrowski and looked great. And he answered multiple questions about the match to the media that week, talking about how he was going to wrestle, about how he was approaching the match, about wrestling Rivera the last time around. And there was nothing but evidence that this match was going to happen. And so for us to get to Sunday, and he just simply doesn't weigh in, and then he's warming up with Perez, and he's out there for the coin toss. I don't know what we are to think. And then, you know, so you just cannot wait to hear what Coach Brands has to say. And he says, and this is what I don't really understand, he says it's been the plan. Well, if it's been the plan, why was he listed as a starter? If it's been the plan, why did he answer questions so specifically about the match to the media and not say, yeah, I'm not going to be wrestling that match? Right? I don't understand why they play, because you just set yourself up for this, you know, the speculation and then if you're ducking or not ducking, certainly people are going to think you are when you wrestle on Friday and you say all this stuff like you're going to be wrestling. And then I don't know what we're left with to believe other than he didn't want to wrestle. He's wrestled every match up to this point. Why would it be part of the plan to not wrestle the really, really good guy? If it was a rest issue, big idea. How about you rest against Travis Pietrowski and wrestle Rivera, right? And I think all too often in this, and I'm sorry I'm taking up a lot of time here, but we'll all have time for our takes. One thing I'm thinking about is you always hear, oh, seed protection. I don't think that ever is actually a consideration in like any realm. Even back with like Bo Jordan when he didn't wrestle, when Logan Stieber didn't wrestle against Tony, all these, when Stoll didn't wrestle, they're not worried about seed. They don't want to wrestle. They don't want to lose. They don't want to, there's other factors. It's not about seed protection. There's no, I don't think that's a scenario that is ever considered. I don't think that Tom Brand, Spencer Lee, Tom Ryan, Cale Sanderson, they're ever thinking like, well, if we sit here, we can preserve a conference seed. Like that is not how these guys think. But there is something else going on, and I don't think any of us know for sure, but certainly it was a disappointing moment in wrestling. I mean, you're seeing coaches out there, you know, Chris Ayers, vocal, we don't duck anybody, right? This bothered coaches. Big Ten coach immediately texted me, you can't let these guys off the hook for this. Like, coaches are not happy about this. Fans were not happy, and we're left with nothing but the ability to speculate because I don't think we didn't get any real information other than it was part of the plan. And frankly, that's somewhat hard to believe for me. Willie, I'm curious for your thoughts. No, you've given some of them on Twitter already.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, hold on now. What the only thing I said is that it's difficult to explain this away. I said it's difficult. I don't know how you're going to defend it. How are you going to defend not wrestling on Friday and not wrestling on Sunday? And that's all I said. I just don't get it's antithetical to everything that Iowa stands for, in my opinion. Everything MO since I was a kid, and they were, the biggest show in wrestling. You can't tell me that. I don't think that's Tom Brand's MO. I think Tom Brand's, and I don't want to offend Tom Brands, and I don't want to offend Spencer Lee. I love Spencer Lee; he's a great kid. But at the same time, I think you have to be honest. We can't sit up here and be disingenuous.
Yeah.
But when I think if Tom Brands would have lost a Midlands final, if Tom Brands is a returning national champion and he loses to a guy in Midlands finals, I think that Tom Brands circles January 27th and I said, I'm getting this guy. I'm getting this guy then. Not circle January 27th and say, that's our rest day. We're going to rest that day.
It was the Sabbath. Did the Sabbath play a role here? We don't know. I think just, he wrestled all the duels leading up to it. And, I don't know what more there is to say that I've said already. But it is disappointing. And I don't know what it means for, what is the end game here? Or what is the positive that comes out of this for Spencer by not wrestling? I don't know.
If you can wrestle on Friday, if you can wrestle Travis Piotrowski. Now Travis Piotrowski isn't number 1 in the country. He's number 12. Piotrowski isn't Sebastian Rivera right now. But if you can wrestle Piotrowski on a Friday, why can't you wrestle Rivera on a Sunday? It just looks like they didn't want him to lose.
Yeah.
Or have the risk of losing.
And I think, we're seeing this. We saw it also this week. And, Griffin Perriott was supposed to wrestle Jason Nolf, and he goes to a D3 tournament, wrestles 5 guys instead. And guys that I don't even know if he wrestled D1 guys, right? We're seeing this kind of, it's not just here. It's not just Iowa. We saw it with the Bo Jordan Mark Hall thing. That was a straight, I don't want to wrestle. In fact, I have that on. Yeah. That's what happened. Right? He could go. He chose not to go. And guys, we're seeing this more and more where I don't know if
it often sounded like, correct me if I'm wrong, it often sounded like, or seemed like, Bo kind of went when Bo wanted to go.
Certainly that's what happened against Mark at the shot.
Yeah. So, and the greater lens of things that I don't like, and so a lot of feedback has been, well, you didn't talk about Bo that much in the past. You didn't talk about Chenzo 2 weeks ago. First of all, Chenzo was a different circumstance. And second of all,
elaborate on that. We can't just say different circumstance.
Well, Chenzo didn't just lose to Wick. Chenzo didn't wrestle Friday and then not wrestle Wick on Sunday. There's a difference there.
Right.
But you also have to understand too. With the Spencer is. He's like Chenzo's a 2-time national champ, right? But Spencer Lee is he's sort of the face. He's one of the biggest faces of wrestling, right? When you carry that torch, you also, you're also under the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
There's a lot of separate things to unpack with this and kind of this season as a whole. First of all, everyone in this room, in all of wrestling, fully understands if a guy isn't healthy, they shouldn't be wrestling. We all get that. We understand their coaches' decisions. Totally get that. Sure. It is much harder to reconcile when you pin the number 12 kid in the country on Friday. And let's just remove Iowa from this. Iowa fans, let's just remove Iowa from this. Let's say Yanni Diakomahalis lost to Joey McKenna at CKLV, right? Just take this hypothetical. And then on January 13th, Cornell's supposed to wrestle Ohio State. And on January 11th, Yanni pins, Josh Albert or something, right? Another really tough kid, and then doesn't wrestle against Ohio State, we would have questions for Coach Cole. We would have questions for Yanni because it wouldn't jive, right? And I picked that because that's a guy that people would be like, well, you wouldn't question him, and
sure we would.
So that's an example.
In a bigger lens too, Nomad, like you tweeted out, hey, Coach Ayers and Coach Goodell, are we going to see Kolodzic, Ashnault this weekend? I mean, you shouldn't have to tweet that. I mean, college wrestling's in a state right now where it's like, I don't know if I should get too hyped up about it. Probably won't happen. Might not happen. I mean, it's not good.
Let's get to another thing. So, a lot of people are like, well, did you ask coaches? Okay, guys, so this is how in college wrestling this works. Basically every team, on Tuesday or Wednesday, they put out media notes, right? It includes probable starters. This is very common practice. That is the team's way of communicating to the media at large so they don't have to answer 75 individual questions. This is who you can expect to see. And a very easy remedy for this is to just put or. Put that or in the head of the fans and the media that this could happen. And Penn State didn't do it for Chenzo when he wrestled Wick. They didn't do it for Shakur Rashid when he wrestled Taylor Venz. Iowa didn't do it for Spencer Lee against Sebastian Rivera. And it's not the fault of, the SIDs, right? Those are good guys. They're doing what their coaches tell them. But that's a very simple thing that can put it in the mind of the fans and the media that this match could not happen and could kind of save you some speculation later. And it still allows you to play the game where, we don't want them to know who we're sending out. All right, well, if you put or, they still don't know who you're sending out.
My thought is, another thought I've had is that I keep coming back to is if Spencer Lee wanted to wrestle, would he have wrestled? If he wanted to wrestle Sebastian Rivera, then would he have wrestled? And I think there's a kind of a clear track record that says yes, because we saw this at the Iowa State duel. We saw Sam Stoll when he was listed alongside Aaron Costello, when it came down to the duel, when it came down and Sam said, I want to do this. It's my last time to do this. You heard Tom Brand say, everyone saw that video and went crazy. I don't want this. I don't want this. But he let him go, right? The athlete, there's some, obviously Spencer didn't even weigh in. But my point is, if he wanted to go, I think he could have gone. And I think there's a track record at Iowa that says if the athlete says, hey, I want to go, they go. I remember, there's been multiple circumstances of this. Iowa traditionally has had their guys go. Now, Stoll's been a unique circumstance the last couple of years because everyone knows the deal with him, right? It's like, man, the guy's so good, he's so tough, but his knees are very vulnerable, and they have been basically since his freshman season. So, no, he wrestled everyone up till Kyle Snyder, missed Kyle Snyder, and came right back. He didn't wrestle Gable. So they know there's certain guys that could put him in that attack legs or he could get hurt, right? But, think back to McDonough against Delgado at Carver Hawkeye. The whole thing was McDonough was sick then, right? And that was like the huge rumor then, and that was later confirmed. Yeah, McD was not right, but he wrestled. And I don't know if that was like coach saying, hey, you need to go, we need you for this duel, or McDonough just being stubborn and saying, oh, I want to wrestle, I want to go. Either way, it's happened, and there's kind of a track record of Iowa guys wrestling in maybe adverse situations. That's not just an Iowa thing either.
Yeah, what's the downfall? I mean, what was that risk? You're just risking a loss?
Well, I think, yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like, everyone's like, there's no downside, so of course it's not a duck, right? Well, there is downside to losing to a guy 2 times in a row in the mental space, right? Like I'm 2-1 against this guy. If I beat him, he beat me. Now, if he beats me again, is it in my head, or do I lose some confidence? I don't know. But you can't pretend that there's like no possible. If it doesn't impact your seed or ranking, then clearly there's no downside. There's downside to losing. So I don't know why that is like considered. Now, there's a lot of talk long term. He's got this illness, a mono-like illness. I don't know. I know he was sick for the what was it, Purdue?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was in December, I'm pretty sure.
Well, look, like mono can affect you for a while. Like we totally get that, but when you wrestle all the other duels leading up to it, it's just a little harder to reconcile that that's what's going on. And again, Spencer just might be that much of a freak that like he can just go against the number 10 guy in the country and pin or tech him. But when you wrestle all the other guys, and this goes for any kid in the country, right? If Alec Pantaleo had a similar thing, if whoever, Gable Stevenson has a similar thing, like if they have mono, like that sucks. Like mono is really freaking hard, and you need lungs in college wrestling. We get that, but when you wrestle every other match leading up to it, including on Friday, it's just a lot harder to reconcile that. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't be ready to go on a Friday and not on a Sunday. If you're ready to go on a Friday against number 12 and not ready to go on a Sunday against number 1, then you don't want to take a loss. You don't want to risk a loss.
So hypothetically, all right, so all right, are we all in uniform agreement that during the week, the plan for not only on the outside looking in was for Spencer to wrestle, but internally Spencer was going to wrestle? The Tom Brands thought that Spencer was going to wrestle. Do we all agree with that? Do you think the plan all along was for him to not wrestle, and they just listed him as a?
No.
Okay, so what happened? Right? So we all agree that when they talked to Spencer on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, whatever day that was,
I believe it was Wednesday.
On Wednesday, the plan was for him to wrestle, and then he wrestled Friday, looked good. So what happened on Sunday?
To clarify, that's when Spencer answered questions about Rivera.
Right. On Wednesday, I think the plan was for him to wrestle. It seemed clear. And yeah, I won't get into that part. But I think the plan was for him to wrestle. So what happened between, I guess we could say, Friday and Sunday that he doesn't weigh in? And I don't understand, and part of me thinks, so Coach Brand's response wasn't super airtight, right? And Brands is super smart, super savvy. My thought was, and of course all we can do is speculate because no one wants to be straight with us about what happened. Kale wasn't straight about the Gavin situation. Coach Brand's not straight here. That's fine, but there's going to be some speculation as a result of that. So I feel like because his answer was just not very tight and you could easily kind of poke holes in it, I don't think he had a lot of time to think about it. So I feel like it was a that day kind of decision. Like, okay, I'm not going, or Spencer, you're not going. And then he didn't really think about it. And then the match happened, and then, oh, yeah, I have to answer this, and I don't really know the answer. So he didn't really have a good, to me, a satisfactory answer, right? So
yeah,
that's why I'm just. Go ahead. Sorry.
He goes into, that was the plan, and we have good backups, and it's a time of year to boost your position and ranking and seeding, but we have good backups too. It's like you don't have a defending national champ that just lost to a guy and say this is a good time to get Perez a match.
Yeah, it's like let's get Perez some mat time. You know when Perez would probably like some mat time, probably against Piotrowski. He's probably like, Coach, Coach, if you want to give me some mat time, I can think of some other guys I could wrestle against. Really? Now it's mat time now against number 1 Sebastian Rivera. Now's when you want to get me some experience.
0-5
here. He's currently 0-5.
Well, he's 0-6 now, but he was 0-5 going into the match.
He's 0 for 2018-19.
And okay.
And real quickly, wasn't it scoreless after 1?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So that was interesting. But Rivera kind of acknowledged, I came out really flat. You all saw that.
So another reason that we're spending so much time on this, totally separate from the fact that Spencer is a monolith and has been since 8th grade. Just there's been a lot of pressure on Spencer, right? But it's this feeling as a whole this season that the fans are being let down. Mm-hmm. And I kind of went through and
it's a couple seasons now.
I have a long list of guys who didn't go to matches or events for one reason or another, and it's kind of long. Micic at CKLV, Spencer versus Rivera, Gross versus Fix, Hall Valencia, that ended up happening. Fix or Young, that ended up happening. Rashid against Venz, Chenzo against Wick, Nolf Berger happened. Nolf Deacon happened. Gable Stoll didn't happen. Even going down a little bit, like Fix Philippi happened. Rivera Russell. Sean Russell didn't wrestle. DeSanto Gomez. Both those guys wrestled. Fix Gomez. Both those guys wrestled. So there's more not wrestling than wrestling this year. And then, again, like we've talked about Iowa this season, where we haven't even mentioned that Caleb Young didn't wrestle against Ryan Deacon.
Now, that one, I think I think that's completely separate because, one, Jaron Glosser is good, and there could be some actual competition there at 157 between Glosser and Young. Mm-hmm. And he just lost to Eric Barone, right? So it's like, hey, man, all right, that didn't look good. It was not offensive. Let's let Glosser out there, give him an opportunity. I read in that. I'm not saying it's like a Clark Gilman situation, but it's not. Prez didn't win a wrestle off. There's not really an in-room competition going on there.
But yeah, it's just there's a lot of stuff that's happened, and again, guys, like it is not as though any person on this show ever actually wants to have to criticize coaches, but we're gonna ask questions when guys aren't wrestling, and just like John Smith said after the Fix Suriano thing, like that match doesn't make or break wrestling, and this match happening or not happening didn't make or break wrestling. But fans are going to be mad, and media is going to be mad when big matches don't happen, and there's not a clear explanation. And the coaches don't know anyone an explanation, but like there's going to continue to be speculation, and there's going to continue to be us armchair quarterback.
And that's what makes it hard too, is that this is for a couple years now. There's there's matchups that haven't happened, and then you have this Spencer Lee, who's the star at the top of the tree, and he doesn't do it. He doesn't wrestle. It's just, you feel like your hands are tied. Like, what can we do? It keeps happening. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it.
What can we do?
If Spencer is sick, I hope that he's healthy by March. Just like I hope everyone is healthy by March.
Yeah, and that's what I also hate is like, obviously Iowa fans are going to cape up for their team, but I just March being the only thing that matters. You don't understand, like, you're basically, you hurt the sport when if you subscribe to that, and the more people that subscribe to that, the more acceptable it becomes to pick your spots in the regular season. The less of a season, the less of a sport we actually have, and it's a problem.
I know people that comment on Twitter or respond on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. I know we make fun of them a lot, but that's the real. That was one very tangible takeaway from me, is that kids were saying, well, maybe it makes sense for him. Well, hey, this is Spencer Lee, and he's all world, all this, all that, and they're trying to justify it. And even 5 years ago, we were like, no. It's on the schedule. You wrestle. March is not all that matters. You take every. It was unacceptable a few years ago, and now you're starting to see this. Some people are trying to justify it, and it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing because the sport is all about. I don't know. I don't need to get on pontificate about that any further, but that's it. Yeah, I guess we can move on.
Everyone who didn't wrestle this weekend, please be healthy by March.
Wow. Nomad's all in on health. He's on the record.
Who didn't wrestle this weekend? Who's hurt?
Well, RBY, Shakur.
RBY, yeah. So it's interesting. So Penn State, RBY, we haven't seen Shakur for a while now. He got hurt at the end of the match against Reinhardt, yep. Wisconsin, and then we haven't seen him since. And of course, we're not going to get any information about that, anything substantive, other than there is an injury. The extent of which, the rumors, there's quite a continuum of the seriousness of it, right? And so read into that what you will. But then RBY, it's disappointing, but at the same time, you can't have backflips be a routine part of your defense. Mike said this. I don't know if he said it on the call or if he just said it to me for the Scuffle Finals, or if he just said it to me just in a conversation. But he's like, they've got to tell him. And he's like, I'm sure they told him, don't do this. It's not worth it. Like, just give up the two. It's not it's not worth giving up. I mean, the risk is huge. The risk is what happened. The risk is he's going to be out for a little bit, apparently, allegedly.
Byers said 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks on a backflip. Just give up the 2, right? It's just not worth it. So, he's young and he made Sports Center and that was really cool. But I think he turned down. RBY doesn't turn down.
Terry Brands.
Turned down for what?
So you see, all right, Gavin's gone. So there's no 125 help coming for Penn State. RBY is now hurt and he's in the toughest weight class in the country. Shakur Rashid, they're kind of counting on points from him. And is he hurt for an extended period of time? Brady Berge has not been great, and we've seen Verclearen come in. All that to say, so all these little kind of bad things are happening to Penn State, and it doesn't change anything in my mind about this team race. I just think, bottom line, Nolf, Chinzo, Mark, Bo, Kassar, that's all you're going to need, and everything else is going to be cake because there's no Ohio State breathing down their neck this year. There's not another transcendent team in the mix. I don't know.
Yeah, if there was
the
if
only
this
thing
was the 2017, 2018 Ohio State team, there'd be problems.
Big problems.
There's not a team like that.
No, and so the only team I still, part of me thinks if Oklahoma State could somehow get all their talent in there, I just think they have 10 really, really, really good guys.
They maximize their point potential. They're dangerous.
Yes, yeah. But I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think, we've speculated about what best case scenario lineup would be for Oklahoma State, and I don't think we're going to quite see it. I think they're going to be really, really good, but they're not going to be quite there. I think with Iowa, they were a team we thought could maybe, but Warner's not going to be a title contender, right? Lugo was a title contender that now is like, man, he's just like a top 15-ish guy. I mean, and Lugo is maybe my biggest disappointment relative to my expectations coming in, that he's not. I mean, I really thought the guy could win a title this year, and he is not. I mean, he took Astronaut to sudden victory. That's like maybe the one thing you can hang your hat on, but I don't know where the offense has been with this guy, and I really thought he was going to have a nice year. Bull's been wrestling great. DeSanto's been wrestling great, but I just don't think they have enough bullets there. Ohio State, I don't think they've got enough. Michigan's look great, but I just don't see who has that high-end firepower, enough of it, to combat Penn State's Big Five.
Yeah, and it was funny. What was it, yesterday? I don't know, 2 days ago? It's like, I'm tweeting, hey, Boo is back. Hey, Boo is gone again.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yeah.
You know?
It's unfortunate.
I mean, I think, internally we talk about maybe Caden at 49 and Boo at 57. Now that's obviously not a thing. But, yeah, it would take like a heroic effort out of Oklahoma State to get what they needed against Penn State.
And more than anything, it's like unseen, never before seen regression from Penn State. We've never seen their transcendent guys not be excellent. Has it ever happened at NCAAs? Well, like one time.
This is almost exactly what kind of the whole point of what I was talking about. Like when I said Penn State's got locked up in whatever October, that basically means like things have to go catastrophically wrong. But meanwhile, so let's say RBY and Shakur don't wrestle the rest of the year. Like worst case scenario for them, right? Well, Iowa had the injury to Kemmerer. Oklahoma State had the injury to Preston Weigel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, other bad things are also happening to teams, and that's why when you're Penn State or any team, right, you're trying to put together a team that is so much far ahead of the pack that you can have things go wrong and still be in position to win a title.
Yeah,
like that's the ultimate goal that every high level coach is trying to construct. That's what Coach Brand is trying to construct. That's what Coach Ryan's trying to construct. And right now, that's what Penn State has. They have a cushion that Mark Hall has to go barbecue for them to lose, which is like
unthinkable.
Yeah.
It's like not going to happen.
Right.
Like the worst, last year the big thing was Nick Lee lost early, but then he wrestled back and placed really high, right? Like
he lost his first match, then got fifth,
and you beat Kevin Jack. He had quite a run on the backside. So all these bad things happening, but we even saw it last year. Nolf got hurt, right? It's like, doesn't matter. He was back when it mattered and beat everybody.
They haven't lost a semi since 2014, 2015.
That is insane. They haven't lost a semi.
That is the biggest insane stat of all time.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't lost a semi NCAAs.
They probably have more Big Ten semi losses. Well, yeah, because more guys make it. That's quite a stat. Okay. So the biggest duel of and the thing that kind of gets lost in the Spencer Not Wrestling shuffle is the Ohio State-Michigan duel was outstanding. And I don't know if you guys watched it. You're stupid if you didn't. It was really, really good. And Michigan comes out on top. And basically, but really, the thing kind of went chalk in a way. In my mind, it went chalk. I think Pantelia was supposed to beat Keyshawn, even though I picked the opposite because I'm stupid. So 25, Matten comes out. Heinzelman, clearly good, but he's not ready to place yet because I think Matten is just a guy that's somewhat on the cusp. But that was a really fun, scrappy match because both guys went after it. But then Micic comes out and absolutely woodsheds Luke Pletcher for 7 minutes straight. Bad intentions all along. This was not a... When he was up, when he got the initial takedown and turn, so often you see guys be like, all right, cool, I'm good here. I'll win 6-2. It's over, right? He did not stop trying to pin Luke Pletcher until the whistle blew. Up to the very end when he got a late turn. It was diabolical. It was like statement stuff. I said it's the most impressive match I'd seen at 133 this year. And it also, you know what, it sadly somewhat reinforces this. Stefan Micic beat Brandon Paetzel 6-2 and looked very, very average in that match, right? And then he didn't wrestle at CKLV. And then he comes out against Luke Pletcher and looks amazing. And it really kind of shows and typifies like the levels these guys can compete at, right? Mm-hmm. If things aren't optimized. And so that is the risk you run, I guess, with wrestling guys, but I still don't see the downside. And if March is all that matters, why does it matter if you lose in February? Why does it matter if you lose in January? March is all that matters, but if you lose. And, like, what is NCAA seeding? Everyone makes a big deal about it. I don't think it's that huge of a deal, right?
Especially, I mean, it never crossed my mind. I mean, it's stupid to talk about because it's not the reason why Spencer didn't wrestle. But when people comment on, it's like, you think Spencer cares about a seed? What's
the matter? Seed? What was he seeded last year?
3.
He was a 3 seed last year. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's true, Christian. All that matters is March. But then, so who cares if you lose a duel in December or January?
Yeah.
Not a duel, but a match.
I mean, Stefan Micic is kind of case in point. He had a horrible Vegas, and
here's
made the finals.
Right?
Made the finals.
I think
and
Micic is also.
Another thing is that if it doesn't matter in March, I mean, if it doesn't matter now, when you wrestle, practice is harder than a 7-minute match.
Right? Aren't they practicing?
Yeah, so they're not practicing. I just don't get it. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so
found the last time Penn State lost a semi too. 2015, Jimmy Gulabon lost to Corey Clark.
And they weren't supposed to win that one. So
right.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy beat him in the duel.
Oh yeah, he did.
And BJC, that was pretty sick. Okay. That was a while ago. So, all right, we got to 33. And now is it like, wow, we're kind of stupid because none of us have picked Micic at any point. And he kind of looks like the best guy in the country right now.
Well, I mean, part of it was
we hadn't seen him.
Yeah, part of it was the same thing. Like when that show before Fix Soriano, I was like, look, I have no clue if Seth Gross is wrestling again. Obviously, he's not, and I've seen Stefan wrestle 6 guys this year, none of whom are ranked. So yeah. I can't accurately depict where Stefan is. I know Stefan's amazing because he made NCAA finals, but I can't accurately gauge where he's at.
Yeah. Well, now we have a gauge.
He's still freaking amazing.
Yeah. And what we'll see is, he has Soriano in like 2-3 weeks or so.
February 17th.
Oh, boy. Oh boy. So less than 3 weeks. So fired up for that one. That'll be really good. So okay, that was 33. I guess no one has other Meachish thoughts. 41, Joey McKenna. I say it every show. I get closer and closer to just saying McKenna's gonna win it. And yeah, I think I'm ready. I think Joey McKenna's gonna win a title this year.
Yeah. I mean, Joey's dang good. Looks great. But part of it too is Yanni's kind of been like off the map, kind of. Like he hasn't been in a lot of. I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of them, have we?
No.
Yanni's missed some matches.
He came back this weekend.
He missed Lehigh, right?
No.
He was
Lehigh.
but he didn't look great.
Didn't look great. Lost a major late. Looked gassed. And then
hurt. I believe he hurt himself during that match.
That was a rumor. It was a shoulder.
Well, if you watch the match, like he wrestled differently after at some point. I can't remember where.
But I think he had a tech and a pin this weekend, so
yeah,
it seems like he's back to being.
Yeah.
Yanni.
So with Yanni, I think, man, he's like.
He'll have a nice closing stretch here. Princeton, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Ohio State. So he'll see McKenna last duel right before EIWA's.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna see it.
Well, and that's.
I want to go.
To not to get back to Spencer again, but like, you know, Spencer last year, it kind of took him a little bit to round into form, like full Spencer Lee form when he started the year with that giant brace on, coming off knee surgery, and Yanni's in that same boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we won't see the best version of Yanni till late, but I think a couple of things. The reason I'm making this pick is one, Yanni, probably one of my favorite dudes in the sport, just on like a personal level, but not. There's just health questions there, right? And there kind of have been throughout his career. It's one of my biggest concerns with him and biggest hopes for him is that he just gets through this period of injury and is just not. He just has one of those bodies that can hold up and withstand the rest of it because his talent is otherworldly. And in a vacuum, talent-wise, I do think he's better than Joey McKenna. But I think McKenna matches up well. He's wrestling. The differences are so subtle at this point. I think it comes down to optimization and style matchup a little bit. And I think McKenna has a style that is like really it fits well against beating Yanni. Yanni's not an otherworldly top wrestler. Like he's good, but I think McKenna can get away. It's not like Bryce Meredith. I think he's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be tough for Yanni to take him down. I think we're seeing McKenna wrestling at an all-time high right now. I think he's never looked better. So I just think you have guys at different points in their trajectory. Now over time, Yanni's gonna probably be the better wrestler NCAA credential-wise, and maybe even on an international stage. But right now, as their careers overlap, I think it's Joey.
Also, JDJ made this point. 9 of the past 12 years, TSU's had an A at 141. 4 of them are NCAA champs. So, like, Joey's had a program where 141 success is expected, has happened, is continual. And I put some credence to that, like, you know, Jaggers probably. They know what they're doing with 141-pound guys. So, yeah. He very well could beat Yanni again. Like, shouldn't shock anybody.
Again?
I just meant, I'm sorry. I didn't mean again like they wrestled before.
Well,
just
no,
like, again, like reinforcing his point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I thought, wouldn't have surprised me if you said, yeah, they wrestled at U20. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so that was 41. McKenna looked great. Micah smashed Malik Amin. Pantelio beats Keyshawn, who kind of, he put the pedal to the metal, but way too late. Lost that match. Couldn't ride Pantelio, who I thought looked pretty good. Massa looked fine against Romero. Miles Amin did not look great against Ethan Smith. Was a really tough win there. Was not getting on his offense at all. It was actually Ethan Smith
tied
who
1-1 late.
Very late. And I really like, and this is why I think you maybe go Ethan Smith long term, because that guy can get to legs against just about anyone. Now, we saw in his wrestle off against Tashan Campbell, he could get it on him all the day. He couldn't finish, right? He still can't finish, but you know, if he can start putting those finishes together, his ability to get to legs is really, really good. So I like him moving forward, and I thought that would be a somewhat challenging match, like a decision, but I did not expect it to be 3-2 late with Romero or with Smith in on the match-winning takedown.
No, me neither. And I mean, to me, it was. Miles didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of offense from him. I mean, Ethan Smith did well. Ethan Smith did well, and I like Ethan Smith too, and I would prefer him to Tayshaun. But not to take anything away from Ethan Smith, I just don't think we saw
Miles Amin should be beating a freshman Ethan Smith soundly, and he wasn't.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but Michigan, Penn State this weekend. There's so many good matchups in that.
Gosh. There's two monster duels this weekend. You got Iowa, Nebraska.
Next show, but I mean, like, Storr, Nick Lee, and then you have Chenzo Massa, and you have Miles and Mark Hall, which Miles, Mark Hall, so it's a 1-point match both times. Right.
Remember last year, Michigan gave them a really tough match at Michigan. Tough duel. That was the duel where Pantaleo took down Nolf twice, and then Pantaleo took bottom, and then that was not the right
Sorry
choice.
to derail. I think we have to talk about Paris and Singletary, yeah?
We do.
Came down to heavyweight.
Yes, it did. Sorry, we were kind of
we were getting there.
We're
working our way down the lineup.
I don't know why you can't. So because we have to talk about Miles Martin tech following the pride of Easton, Pennsylvania, JT Carell.
Hey, you leave him alone.
I did. I left him alone. Miles Martin refused. Take it up with Miles. He did not leave him alone.
I was pretty proud of JT Carell.
He wrestled. He was not evasive. He was wholly outmatched. Where's Jelani Embry? They could have used Jelani. I mean, they won, but we miss you, Jelani. But yeah, Miles looks so good. He looks so good. That was two different athletic beings there. Colin Moore versus Jackson Strigo. Colin Moore won by decision. And then, it did come down to Mason Paris, and we knew that Singletary had beaten him before, but I think I don't know. I just think with the upside and the offense, you kind of favor Paris long term. He's still got a ways to go, but man, he's gonna be really, really good.
Is Paris Cassar a thing?
That's a great question. Willie and I were talking about this yesterday. I don't think so. I think Cassar is one of the few heavyweights that athletically can match Mason. Like Mason's a way better athlete than Singletary, right? But not a way better athlete than Cassar. And Cassar's way more fundamental. I think it's going to be really tough for Mason to impose his will.
Yeah.
I think it's a controlled win for Cassar.
I think Cassar's, much more polished right now. I mean, there's still massive amounts of rawness in Paris.
It's kind of scary.
I mean, he's gonna make monumental jumps. Whether it's this season or next season, but right now, Cassar's been in a college room for 5 years.
I feel like Mason Paris is gonna be one of those guys that you look at his his Michigan headshot as a true freshman. You look at it as a fifth year. It's like because he looks like a boy right now in his face. Like I don't even know if he shaves, right? And he's huge. And then I think in 5 years he could be like the scariest looking person in sports.
Somebody told me this weekend that he already has Michigan lifting records. His name is on the thing for lifting. At Michigan.
Yeah, there's been some big. I mean, Adam Kuhn still dwells those halls, right? I imagine he can lift some weight.
But hey, last thing about there's actually two last things about that Michigan Ohio State duel. But did you see the challenge in that with Singletary in Paris where he's behind the thing?
Yes.
There's a challenge in there. I guess it doesn't really matter. But what happened in the wrestling world, in the college wrestling world, that all of a sudden every challenge takes 15 minutes?
What is happening?
I mean, what is there some kind of process that we are unaware of that happened? I don't know.
I think they're installing
January 5th. That now if you challenge, it's going to be a good 15, 20 minutes.
It's like another intermission. I don't know what they're looking at or why it takes so long. And they were talking about it on the broadcast. I'm like, there got to be something. Actually, maybe it was Sparks on because it happened in the Illinois-Iowa duel too.
It was the Illinois. It was Max Murin Mike Carr, which, by the way, how is that? That was a terrible call.
Well,
But
no,
anyway,
it's not.
Why isn't it?
Because, well, okay, it's not a terrible
Do you
call.
not have to?
No, an official actually corrected me on this. They don't have to. They don't have to give the 3 count for it to be awarded. That's what
Explain
they're
the
supposed to
situation.
do.
Explain it. Explain it for the fans.
Mike Carr, single leg. Max Murin, dive rolls under. Murin holds him there for a 3 count. The official was not swiping and did not give any points, right? And it ultimately got stalemated. Tom Brands throws the brick. They go back and look at it. And for 3 seconds, he was in danger. He broke 90. But
did you see Tom Brands throw the brick? It was the greatest thing of the weekend.
That
was the highlight of the weekend. Tom Brands, he looks at somebody, and he looks at one of the coaches, and they were like, yeah, challenge. And he goes, it was
like a frisbee toss? Like Askren on the frisbee golf course. So
like he was having fun doing it.
But you're right. It doesn't make it a bad call. It's unfortunate. He was on his back for 3 seconds, period. Undeniable.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the takedown.
Absolutely. But Christian, am I under the wrong impression? I mean, they don't have to. You don't have to count. I'm not allowed. I don't have to hear you. Like if I'm Mike and they're saying 1, 2, I'm working. But if I don't hear it, then all of a sudden I get up and it's 2.
I think it's on the athlete. You need to know. You need to know going into the match that you don't necessarily have to hear the danger count. That is the rule. You don't have to hear it. So you have to have some body awareness to know when your back is breaking 90, right? You have to know that. And whether you're hearing something or not, I agree with you. And that's why they are supposed to do that at all times. But that's just the way it goes. I mean, you can challenge near fall. You can say the same thing with near fall, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I didn't hear any swipes.
I know the near fall thing, but I thought specifically in the challenge or in the danger, there was supposed to be a verbal count so that you know that you're in danger. I don't know.
There is in a perfect world, and same if you're on your back in a near fall situation, that they could be missing counts, and you wouldn't fight off your back because, hey, I'm not in danger. You just have to know if you're breaking 45, and you have to know if you're breaking 90. So that was a good call, but it took forever, and it shouldn't have. He was either on his back for 3 seconds or he wasn't. Paris Singletary, the Merkel situation, he was either behind all the way. You have the angles. Look at the angles. I don't know if they're installing updates on a Microsoft Surface or something. I don't know what could be happening. Are they connecting to the Wi-Fi? Because it should not take this long. Look at it and make a call. In the NFL, it's either conclusive or it isn't. And you don't have to belabor the point. Okay? You either know it wasn't 2. If you can't tell it was 2, you made the call on the mat, it wasn't 2. And if you can't see definitively within a minute of watching the replay,
I don't understand what they could possibly be doing.
They've got
so long.
I'm still, yeah. I don't know. It's highly annoying, and it's not always like this. I mean, I have done dozens of replay. I mean, because when you're calling a match at the computer, you pull up the replays. They stand behind you. They look at it. All right, see it again. See. I mean, if it takes a minute, they're really thinking about it. A minute is a long time to look at a 2-second scenario. Okay, and the only time where I say, okay, it could take a little bit of time, if they change the call and they have to go back and they have to factor in riding time, they have to factor in the clock there. But other than, it should not take that long. It should not be that difficult. And I know you want to get the call right, but at some point, you just got to go with what you saw, and you're not gonna. It's hurting the flow of the match. So, yeah, you're right, Willie. I don't know what is making it take so long. And it was pretty clearly not a takedown, right? I was like,
what, the Paris one?
Yeah, right? I was like, this is not.
Well, I mean, I thought it was close.
Certainly.
But again, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
Guy in the grassy knoll? I don't.
Yeah, I think they're hoping some Zapruder footage comes in, but it didn't happen. And yeah, that was annoying. Please hurry it up, boys. You do a great job. Calls have been good, but you know what? Keep it moving. Keep it snappy. All right. We haven't talked about Urigan.
We only talked about like 2 topics.
We talked about 2 topics.
We're an hour
Fix
in.
Gomez.
Fix Gomez. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Before Fix Gomez, Corbin Meyer's coming in and messing everything up, making things very difficult. knocks off Mickey Philippi. So Philippi's dropping back down. Although I will say it kind of restores like the pecking order in my mind, or at least my mind. There's a top tier, and it's 3 dudes, and it's Micic, Fix, and Soriano. And I know DeSanto beat him, and I know that Philippi lost, and I know that Gomez was right there with, or that Fix lost to Philippi. I know all those things, but that's my mindset.
When is Oklahoma State?
February 24th.
February 24th. You coming?
No, he's not invited.
Sweet.
The first 2.
Will,
Actually,
you and I will be at National Preps.
National
The
Prep.
first 2 matches that freaking duel are enormous.
Enormous.
So you're not going to be at Iowa, Oklahoma State again?
Once again, just
Oh
like
my.
you at Flow Nationals, it'll never happen.
He was literally like the only Flow person not there 2 years ago. Like
was
we
at
took
5 counties.
everybody, and Nomad went somewhere else.
It's the 5 counties.
I think Vinny was even there. You were everyone
Ben
but
Askren was there.
Ben Askren was
Ben
there.
Askren.
Sion was there.
Sion. Yeah, we had everyone but no, man. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Just send me to Worlds
we're getting
this year.
derailed a lot, and it's okay. It's fine. There's a lot to talk about. I'll say we should talk about Urigan
Yeah,
because
just a little bit.
that definitely happened. On the men's side, I don't think you can use a word other than disappointing. And on the women's side, you can't be anything but excited. You know, Tamira Mensah wins 3 in a row.
That's so awesome.
Like never happened.
Yeah, legit first time ever in American history. Men's stock. That's like she's right there with the best.
Sarah
in the world.
Hildebrand?
It's amazing. Sarah looks. I mean, obviously you got like it's the same for every women's weight. You have to beat Japan, but otherwise Sarah's right there.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Best in the world.
Exciting time for women's wrestling. You know, Zayn losing to Rashidov, and it was great watching the mic'd up with Bill Zadok because the whole time he knows, but he's given the message to Zayn from basically the time that they're in the corner throughout. Every word he says is trying to get Zayn to attack. Trying to get Zayn. You have to attack. You will not. Basically, what he's saying without saying is you're not going to win if you don't score again. Even though you have the lead, this guy is going to beat you, right? And sure enough, Rashidov gets that takedown right away. He's like, I'm going to get one real quick, and then I'll wait for my spot in the last little bit. And
Rashidov's defense was ridiculous on that first one.
Yeah.
yeah, he almost had him.
And then, I mean, why was it not very clear that Zayn shut down in the second period?
Well, yeah, and
Like we've never seen before.
yeah,
Like, I mean, he went to the second period with the lead and said, I ain't doing nothing.
yeah.
And there's a real because I talked with KJ about this at the Schultz. There's a real and it's not that the coaches are like to the detriment of each other, but you know KJ's really trying to work on them with the defensive side of holding leads, and Bill's trying to work with them on the offensive side of increasing leads. And Zayn kind of fell in that awkward position of not being able to do either against, you know, a 2-time world silver medalist in Russia.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like he lost to a no-name.
All right, so that was Zayn, and then we had it was too bad that Rashidov didn't get pulled through. And then Kyle loses in round 1. He gets down 4 early, challenges, which I don't know. Is that 4? Maybe, maybe not. I think I've seen that called 4. I keep going back to the Beat the Streets with Gwiz and the Cuban. I didn't think that was 4, but I think it is 4. I think that's how they're calling it, and that's a 4-point hold there. And, you know, to go down 5 in Siberia against a solid Russian, guy wasn't on the ladder. He wasn't top 3 for Russia. But, you know, you're playing with fire a little bit. But at the same time, you know, they're probably not going to overturn that call. But at the same time, 5-0, Kyle Snyder, you've done that before. You did it against Salas Perez, but it didn't come. He couldn't get it. It seemed like it took him a little while to get it going. And, you know, I don't know what to make of the loss for, you know, Snyder, how I view Snyder. Because on the one hand, we say, well, he does. He loses in the regular season basically every year, right? This has happened. But this is kind of a guy that's maybe a rung or so below what he typically would lose to. Maybe not. And
I mean, it's the guy he's beaten in the last 2 Eurasian finals. Soundly both times. But The guy he did make the last 2 region finals.
Right. So I don't know what it means. I mean, I think it means he's got a ways to go before he's beaten Sadulayev again, right? And other than that, I don't know if it's much to react to, but it was disappointing. You go all that way, you lose one match, and then your day's done because you lost to a guy that was, frankly, not the best guy in the room or the second best guy or maybe not even the third best guy.
Yeah. And like you said, it's incredibly hard to take stock of what this does or doesn't do to Snyder because every time he has lost, it just hasn't mattered,
Right. So that was the Eureka. Good job, ladies.
Well, I want to talk about Gilman real quick.
You should talk about Gilman real quick.
So Gilman, when I was writing my preview, I went back and watched all his Worlds matches. Thomas Gilman, right? We all know what his best, when he shoots and he gets his hands locked, like that's his best shot, right? He did that one time in 4 matches, the World Championship. Shot, got his hands locked, finished. So he was much more offensive. He beat a really good guy in Erdinibot. He put up, 10 points, 6 points, 9 points, and 14 points. That's the Thomas Gilman that I want to see. That's Thomas Gilman that I feel, if he is our representative again, will qualify America for Tokyo. So I was really happy to see that. And, dude, that Magomedov kid's tough, and he might be their guy this year. I know he lost in the finals to Sadulayev, but other
Sadulayev.
Yeah, baby Sadulayev.
No relation, though, right?
I don't believe so, because he's Chechen and Abdul Rashid is.
All right, Kyle's yelling at some people on Facebook. What's happening, buddy?
No, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Someone said that Soriano doesn't belong in the top tier because he hasn't beaten anybody that he wasn't supposed to.
Oh, okay. They can be quiet. They should probably watch wrestling.
I mean, he majored Philippi, who beat Fix.
Yeah.
And then he came back with, well, don't tell me you didn't pick Fix to beat Philippi. Or
to beat
Soriano to beat, Philippi to beat Soriano.
Yeah, I didn't pick him because he's really, really good. So I have to think less of the guy initially to pick him for it to think he's good. That doesn't make sense. Facebook. Unless you win as an underdog. Okay. Stop yelling at him, Kyle. Let him go. I went on a blocking spree on Instagram. Just angry. Stupid people.
Hold on. Can we talk about this? Because me and Christian always got in arguments several times about the value of blocking versus muting. Mm-hmm. And I just block people. I want to be done with them. I don't want to hear from them. I don't want them to see my stuff. I never want to hear from you again. And Christian does this thing where he mutes you so that they don't know. Right? And to me, I just want to be done.
I am done with them.
Why did you come over to the dark side?
No, I didn't. I didn't block anyone. No. I was blocking from FloWrestling's Instagram.
You also can't mute people on Instagram.
You also can't do that. But I was on the FloWrestling one. Anyone that is dumb enough to get mad at us for hyping a match, I was just blocking them. Gone. We have listen, guys. Listen, we have 345,000 followers. We'll be fine without you. You hate it so much. You hate us so much. I'm doing you a favor, actually. I'm blocking you. I'm sparing you from our horrible hype. I'm getting it out of your feed forever. Okay? So you're welcome for the block. And if you don't want to get blocked, then watch what you say, because Big Brother's watching.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot. It's simple.
Why didn't you ask Tom Brands if Spencer Lee was? We don't go to every coach and ask about, is Spencer weighing in? Is DeSanto weighing in? Is Max Murin weighing in? No, we don't do that.
It's not possible.
Don't have to ask. Every single human is weighing in. No, man, are you a blocker or a muter?
I'm a muter.
Boom. Team
That's
mute.
weak sauce.
It's not. It's not weak sauce.
Yes, it is. It's what's the word for it? It's
could actually argue that blocking is weak sauce.
Yeah, blocking is weak sauce because they got to you so much that you never want to see them again.
I mean, it's an adult thing to do. This guy's getting.
Is it? Get out of here. You literally were just arguing with somebody the other day, and then we're like, "Oh, block, idiot."
Exactly.
Also, Willie,
exactly. Dan, I'm done with you. You guys mute people so they still think they're following you and they don't know. And,
Willie, can I tell you why blocking is dumb? Like fundamentally, why blocking is dumb? Is your account locked? Do you have a public profile on Twitter? Okay, then all they have to do is log out of their laptop and they can see everything.
They can read everything you say, or they can make a
Yeah, they can't. They're not responding to me. I don't care.
They can make another account. Okay,
I don't care.
Can we finish up Regan and Dave Schultz real
We
quick?
haven't finished it?
Well, Dave Green got kind of beat up by Baev, and guys, Russia's back to being way ahead of us again. And then Schultz, a bunch of guys look good. Molinaro 170, but he's going to be down 65. He was actually like underweight. He weighed in like 68 kilos. So apparently what had happened was
If he's blaming the government shutdown, I'm calling.
See, what happened was.
Stop it.
He better not blame. Do not blame TSA.
He really did like there was mention of Trump.
All right. If Trump was involved, fine. Checks out. Trump doesn't want to see him winning. All right.
Jo has to go to the Open now, though, to go. Well, I guess he doesn't because he could go to Northeast Regional. But like,
is Pat Downey there?
He's coming. I forget which. He might get in tomorrow.
Guys, Pat Downey's coming to Flow.
I'm so pumped. You played yourself moving to Easton.
I know, dude. Actually, I might have saved myself.
Yeah, that's true.
Me and Pat Downey on 6th Street?
Oh my lord.
That ain't good.
Hey, we need Downey and Nomad to hit the town together. Look for some revenge. Look for Dirty Mike and the boys. Tear them up.
Couple B-more boys.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you rolled up on them with Downey, it's a wrap.
Problem is, if he's coming tomorrow, I leave for Jersey on Thursday.
All right, just don't rain on our parade.
If he's coming tomorrow, you can go look for him with him tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I leave on Thursday, so I gotta get all the stuff done that I have to do.
Stop it. No one cares.
Tell Pat Downey about the soup kitchen, and go taking mugs down.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Downey's coming in. Schultz happened. No Jo. Great sadness because I wanted to see Molinaro versus Jordan Oliver very badly, but it didn't happen. This was the match of this was the weekend of things not happening. It's fine. We'll deal with it.
How about my man Andrew Alirez?
He's so good.
Yo.
I made the mistake of using the word talented, and Ben Askren got really fired up because he thinks it doesn't exist, and it's. But yeah. He's outstanding.
Ben is a goof. He's a goof. Also, Brandon Paulson was not happy either. He prefers Greg Kirkfleet, but listen.
Wow.
Andrew
he prefers
Alirez.
the guy he coaches. That's interesting.
Also,
he beat Dean Heil on the backside. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
He beat Dean Heil.
He's a senior in high school.
When Greg Kirkfleet is entering senior level competitions and doing something remotely similar to that, then okay. But right now, Greg Kirkfleet is wrestling high schoolers.
People were really confused when we posted that Meredith match, and I said like in the copy like high school senior Andrew Alirez. They're like, wait, what? They're like he's in high school still?
Yes.
It's like yes. Like yes, he is.
He has geometry tonight or this morning. Okay.
Also, Ben Whitford got third and could not be more excited that Ben Whitford is back in the world. Yeah, dude.
I didn't realize he came back. I watched his loss, and he looked skinny.
Well, he's down at 61. He wrestled.
I know.
38
Just
and
eat
45
and go 65. The best version of Ben Whitford is the wide open Whitford, right? That dude.
He was putting points on the board. He beat Sheldon Mack 13-0. And Sheldon Mack is like that classic, like really tough dude that like everything is a match, and it wasn't a match.
Yeah, he's really good. Okay.
Should we talk Fix Gomez?
We should talk Fix Gomez because
before we get to Q's from F's.
So Gomez, we kind of said, man, just one of those bad matchup things. Probably never gonna do it. He kind of had it there to win. He had a couple different opportunities. One, he comes out, gets a takedown right away. Single leg, quick finish on the cutback. No funny business. But it comes down to riding, him getting ridden, and unable to ride Dayton in the locking hands point that ultimately kind of shifted it for him. And Fix did not have a takedown, right? Because the inside trip was actually a reversal, I believe.
Yeah.
It was.
So no takedowns for Dayton is different, and it's, maybe this part of the year he's having a little harder time getting to guys. And then Gomez is in on the single leg. Gomez uses great motion, level change stuff, gets in on the single leg. Actually, it was the pass by attempt from Dayton, and he pulls it right into the single leg. and Dayton is just on the edge fighting it off. And I don't know what to make of it in terms of, hey, is this Big 12 Finals a thing? I guess you have to say probably so, right? This guy's beaten DeSanto. He's looked really good. And Iowa State as a whole is looking pretty solid, but Austin Gomez doing a really nice job.
Someone tweeted us and was like, see, this is why Austin Gomez doesn't like to wrestle with the lead. Because he scored the first points.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like, Austin's got to be kicking himself. Like, I'm not saying anything Austin Gomez doesn't know, right? But like, you give up the escape with short time in the first after you get the takedown. You give up the locked hands. You lose a match when you don't give up a takedown. You give up riding time. And, I don't know. So a lot of people said this, and I went back and watched the match. Dayton probably could have been hit for stalling in the second period at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dayton probably should have been hit for stalling in the second period. Well,
That's
also,
a tough call to get in Stilly.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And
it was long. It was long. Now, if they hit, does he adjust? Yes. Right.
Juxtapose that with the Suriano DeSanto stall call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Now Dayton can adjust. The locked hands call thing, though. I mean, if Gomez doesn't lock hands, it's probably a 1 and a 2 then. Anyway, and it's probably an escape and a takedown.
This is total this is 100% armchair quarterback being in the moment thing. But in my head, I'm like, if I'm Austin Gomez and I know I have locked hands, like, I just tackle him. Like, I just go all in. Like, I'm gonna give up the point anyway. Like, I might as well just try to do everything I can to make the most out of this locked hands, which I know is not really really realistic, but it's just man, that you give up the locked hands and immediately the reversal that's.
Also, I really thought Fix almost locked hands on top again from that sit-out position.
There's a lot of
why is everybody locking hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is everyone locking hands?
This is a year of locked hands, yes.
Did you think he locked hands?
Probably.
I thought he locked hands too.
Mark Hall got called for it last weekend against Labriola, and then they challenged for another one, and now this. Stop locking hands, people.
Yeah, not till
How
April.
about if Seth was still around? The Big 12s would be fire at 33.
Now they're just ice. Okay.
You get a song.
All right, we have
Big
so many.
12, 133. That's going to be our marketing plan, Kyle. Market down a story of fire and ice, a song of fire and ice.
Got it.
With Seth Gross Fire. No ice. I didn't put that many questions in from our friends. This person's not our friend. His name's John Renan. But he's asked this question 2 weeks in a row. And he said, the walking around height and weight for each FRL guy. Add weight and weight class if given 2 weeks to prep for a tourney. Starting with Willie.
Well, I go 160, 2 weeks. I can make 125.
Is this one of those famous 220s down to 197, take the 18-pound dump that you've recommended before?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. It wouldn't be hard for me to.
How tall are you?
5'3" with heels, 5'2" flat.
Just 1 inch heels? All right.
I don't know.
5. I think you're about 5'1".
5'2", dude. Don't put me down.
All right, 5'2". He's 5'2". Wrestling nomad.
57.
57 kilograms. What do you weigh right now? And how tall are you?
Post sauna with Guerrero, because he made me get on and took a picture of me, I was 140.
140. Remember when you were telling us you weighed 128?
Because I have never hit 140 in my life until
you did tell
6
us
months
that.
ago.
For years, you're like, I swear, I don't weigh I don't even weigh 130.
Because it's never happened. Like in college.
And then he wouldn't step on a scale.
Then he wouldn't step on a scale. They were like, wait, you weigh so much more than you've ever said.
In college, when I was drinking and eating and working out all the time and just doing all these things that make you bigger, I never remotely approached 140.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't happen.
Wait till you get. It keeps happening. Kyle Brackey. Oh, and 57 kilograms. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go about 150.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how tall I am. 5'6", 5'7".
No, you're taller than that.
Yeah, you're taller.
5'8".
You're taller than me. Yeah.
All right, 5'8". Cool.
Right.
Sweet.
He's 6'2".
Yeah. 6'1" with cleats. 33 would really suck.
Yeah.
I'll say 41.
I would just go the Olympic weight, go 65. Easier cut.
We're doing college weights. You're wrestling freestyle. We're wrestling collegiately.
Tom Brands.
So I'm 5'8". This morning I weighed 147 pounds, and I think I'd be a 41 too. So I'll see you in the, probably round 1, and I'll lose.
Pigtail.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see you there.
Pigtail.
Yeah, but maybe I get seated opposite you somehow. So yeah, that's our height and weight, John Reenan. Stop asking.
What's your height and weight, John Reenan?
Yeah, John.
Like Willie told him to fall off a cliff, and he's like, "I did last week."
Austin Holland, what can we do to make Willie love us again? Sacrifice our firstborn child's ability to choose bottom? Would that help?
Yeah, anybody that procreates and then tells their child they can never, sometimes we go neutral. Yeah, I like you. Now we can be Twitter friends.
Okay.
Willie
good.
was trying to suck up. He was responding to a ton of people.
Yeah,
last
Everyone,
night.
I just like,
That was
stop.
that was annoying.
I got so many notifications.
And then he would say "great" and then put the question mark. Just type question.
Because I read it, I'm like,
Great. I know.
Like,
Same.
I'm
That's
Ron
what I do
Burgundy?
too.
Oh, jeez.
No, there's a space in between. That means great question.
No,
there were
but
some good ones left.
But you know what? Sometimes as you interact with older people, they do a thing where they put the space between the punctuation.
Mm-hmm.
See that a lot. It's very common with those that are getting up in age. Maybe I'm not saying Willie
elder
is.
typist.
I am.
But yeah, he is definitely getting older. He's certainly not getting younger, and he's approaching senility rapidly. So yeah, I hope to see you love these people again. But the reality is, he will never love you, and I'm sorry to say that. He does not respect
Probably
you.
not.
Don't let these tweets fool you. He does not like you. Chuck Finley, the famous lefty, apparently a listener of FRL. He could throw that speedball by you. Does anyone else besides me think that Pitch has a real chance of being the champ at 125 this year? The dude has looked amazing so far. I think you have to say yes.
His
do.
cross-wrist tilts are money right now.
I give him a real chance. Now,
So do
coming
I.
into this year, I thought Pitch over Rivera, not in the finals, but I thought it was Spencer, Pitch, Rivera. Now I think I have to say probably Rivera over Pitch, and of course my pick is still Spencer to win it all, despite he lost and he didn't wrestle. I still think ultimately optimized Spencer wins, but yeah, I give Pitch a great chance to win NCAAs this year. He does have a shot.
The thing with
he
that
has
is,
a shot, right? I mean, like in years past or in previous versions, you say, no, not a title contender. He's a
AA.
He's a 4-5 guy. Now I think, and he's always been good on top. I think he's developed on his feet. His leg attacks are there.
well, I don't know about that because not against Pat Glory, they weren't.
Okay, one match he didn't get. It was tough to
That
score
match
on
was
Pat
against
Glory.
a true freshman.
Okay. Take that match out.
Take out what's the
Did
best
you
guy he's
watch any
wrestled,
other
I
matches?
believe.
Did you watch any other matches? I mean, you don't think that
Rayvon Fuller's
Nick
probably the
Piccinini
highest ranked guy.
has made jumps on his feet? Has gotten better on his feet?
No,
He's
he's
gotten
always
in
been.
on-
I've always felt he was amazing on his feet.
I've
His
thought
singles.
I've thought his
misdirect
ability to
stuff.
turn people went from he can turn people to now he's just almost every single match.
Makes me
he's
question
turning
how much
people.
you've watched Nick Piccinini. He's been.
No, I've watched Nick Piccinini more than all y'all.
You don't even
Watched
know
him more than you.
You don't even know who he is.
You're right.
You're right, dude.
Here's the other
don't
issue
even
with
go there.
Pitch.
We have another issue.
He just like everyone else against Spencer, has been down huge in the first period.
Someone got mad that they said Flo has never posted an article about how to beat someone before, and that's what we did with the Spencer Lee thing.
Yeah.
Someone said it was biased. I was like, it's
literally the
numbers,
numbers.
it's stats. Like,
I'm sorry that I put in every single match that Spencer lost because there's 7 of them.
Wait, there are?
Yeah, I literally described
back,
every way he
all the way
lost
to 8th grade.
because the whole point of the article was the whole point of the article is Spencer Lee is otherworldly in the first period, and the only time he's not otherworldly, he has lost. Like that's just factual information. It's not like a how-to beat. You know how to beat Spencer? You'd be better than him, which is there's no one's better than him.
What if
maybe a couple people?
Think about what you're
still
saying.
Have lost to him.
Think about what you're saying. If you actually believe that article is biased, that Nomad is here cracking the code for other coaches on how to beat Spencer Lee. That this has never dawned on another coach. That it took Wrestling Nomad's insight for him to say, we should take a look. You know what? Hold on, Glory. Get a load of this. Nomad broke it down for us.
Don't get taken down in the first period.
Pitch. Come here.
We got it.
Look, so I know we were talking game plans here, but throw it out the window. I need you to read this and just keep reading it. I'll read it, and you know what? That's the game plan moving forward.
We'll get it on audio. We'll get a file for you.
You know
Just
what? We'll
listen
get
to
this.
it.
Coach Perry's gonna read this. We're gonna get it on MP3. You got one of those iPods, right? Just throw it right on there. You can listen to it, and then you're gonna know how to beat Spencer. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Do we have any other friends? It's 9:19. Someone asked if it's possible that the Flow team is cursed because anytime we hype a match, it doesn't happen.
No, that's stupid.
It's really jinxes are less real than Santa Claus. Like Santa Claus is literally more real than jinxes. Jinxes are fake.
Oh, wow.
I know that may be a controversial. Oh my gosh,
that is a damning photo.
Nikki Barnes
910.
Turn it around. Hold on. We gotta go full screen.
Enhance.
Dayton. Hold on. Let me see what I can do here. It's a full.
We'll retweet it.
He locked up a gut wrench on Austin Gomez. That is.
Man.
That's
hard to argue.
It's tough. It's a pretty tough scene. That would be a 1 point locked hands. Why is everyone locking hands? To echo Kyle Brackey's question.
Stop it.
Real quick again. Is the reaction time on locking hands at the collegiate level? There's not, right?
There's not when you're on the mat. Like if he had just returned him down, he has
the
a
situation where they were on the second where they were on their feet. Yeah.
Yes.
Match,
but that right there, no.
Hey, we've got Nomad's solo shot here. They were. I could see them in the control room. Actually, the control room. It's very interesting. They have a new. So maybe we can go on Nomad's solo shot here, and you can hold it up for it. But it's pretty. Yeah. All right, a little higher, buddy. There we go. This is.
What's Nikki Barnes' handle? So people can.
Nikki Barnes 910. We'll retweet it after.
910. All right. Thank you, Nomad, and thank you, Control Room. They actually we haven't figured out how to implement it yet. No, I'm not even gonna spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it because it's gonna be awesome.
You can see it.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say. But we have some new technological innovations here in the studio, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I think we'll leave this show at that. I think it's time to go. There's a lot of topics we didn't get to, but we did our best. Daggone it, and that's all I can ask for.
Friends, I won't be here Thursday. We'll be.
Nomad's never here on Thursdays.
Yep.
Where are you going?
Me and Holmes will be covering Nebraska Rutgers and Princeton Rutgers.
Dang.
So.
Why don't you?
Yeah. That was all. Just wanted to let everybody know that.
All right, man. Well.
I just want everyone to know that on Thursday, KB's Alien Hour is coming back, and you need to forget everything you thought you knew about Avril Lavigne.
Wow. Done. I forgot it all already. Willie, have you forgotten everything you know about Avril Lavigne?
I don't even know who Avril Lavigne is anymore.
Oh, you're a liar.
Skater boy.
See you later, boy. All right, see you later, boys and girls. Play us out.
You didn't get the joke?
I get it now, Will. I legit thought. Yeah, I get it.
I didn't get it.
He already forgot about her.
Oh, got it. Good job, Willie. Sorry, you guys know I'm slow. Hey, we thank you guys so much for tuning in so dutifully on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on the site, FloWrestling.org. Many of you are listening to this in your cars on iTunes or Stitcher. Not live, but you can listen live. You can listen not live.
Oh, I'm gonna try to get it on Spotify.
He's got to connect.
We'll see if that works.
In the Spotify industry, I've seen other wrestling podcasts on Spotify, and then I've kind of felt stupid that we weren't on there.
Yeah.
But you guys are finding it because you're listening to this thing like crazy. So we thank you for that. And yeah, sponsors, potential sponsors, Popeye's Chicken. A lot of people listen, and they might buy your stuff if you advertise, but you're never gonna know until you do. Thanks so much for listening. We will be back Thursday. We're so excited for Thursday. A lot to talk about. Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, Nebraska. If anyone yelled at me or Willie for what we said on radio, that happens sometimes after radio. We get yelled at. Hopefully we don't. Ashnalt Kaladzic. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.